Hey everybody, this is Talia. Of course, you already know that. I just thought I would pop in quick to do a little bit of an update. I know the more I do this, as uncomfortable that it is, that I know could help people. And for many of the times, it helps me more because it gives me opportunities to learn about things I wouldn't have known about. It gives me opportunity to teach people about things that they may not know about that might help them. So if you've been watching my stories the last 8 months since I fell down the flight of stairs, um, facial paralysis, hearing loss, broken clavicle, broken ribs, off of work, all that fun stuff, hearing aids, learned so many things about things that could help me. But in that journey, I was still working part-time, doing fascial stretch therapy and Thai massage, which many of you know that I do. And I just got back from Arizona for a week of level 4. FST is the first level 4 class that they offered. And it was awesome because I felt really not smart in that I was in a room with over 30 people from all over the world that some of them have been doing fascial stretch therapy for 20 years, 15 years. I've been doing it for 4 years, and they offered level 1, 2, 3 sport specific, and then there wasn't anything else, so I started doing Thai massage. So I did, and I don't know that many people know this, I did 6 trainings for Thai massage in 2023, 2024, so that I could get my master's Thai massage training, which I was supposed to do this January in Thailand for 2 weeks. But because my eye wouldn't close, now you can tell it's closing a lot more, and I'll explain why. My eye wouldn't close, and they were worried if I contracted something. We were supposed to be like doing dinner cruises on the river, staying at elephant sanctuaries, like any bacteria, I could lose my eye. And so I had to cancel that trip, which was heartbreaking. But as soon as I did that, they announced level 4, and I was like, okay, well, I could fly to Arizona. That's not unsafe for me. And so God's brought me to Arizona 3 times this year. And some of my instructors from FST from levels 1, 2, and 3, they still live in Chandler. That's where the school institute's based out of. And so they've been doing Z Health therapy for cranial nerve work to help balance the strength of the cranial nerves, and doing different exercise. It makes no sense to me, to be honest, but it's awesome. Dermofascial restoration, which is using your thumbs to spread the tissue. You can see my scar is almost not visible 8 months after. I had pins and needles all the way down into my bottom of my bicep, which the doctor said is not normal. I was like, of course it's not. And I did a session with Megan in January, and again, I still had a little bit of pins and needles in my armpit. It's gone. She did a lot of work on my face with the DFR work to help. All the people don't realize with facial paralysis, Bell's palsy, stroke, or trauma, you still feel everything in your face. That's the trigeminal nerve. So I have full feeling. I just don't have control of movement. And so facial nerve roots from your temporal skull goes down out through your mastoid, and I broke that joint of the socket, and then it branches and controls all the movement of these muscles of the face. Well, those nerves have to regenerate. So one of the things the doctors told me is that if they regenerate, they'll no longer have their own job. So every time I make a kissy face, my eye closes. Every time I close my eyes, my mouth moves. It's a fun party trick, to be honest. It's been doing this now for about 3 weeks, so it's not comfortable, but it's not painful. It just looks very strange. And so I've got all these things going on, and I go to level 4. And I knew what we were going to be learning because they show us, like, we had to watch all this stuff before. And I don't think that I realized how far I've come along in 8 months, but I've also been putting in the work. So yes, I've been working, teaching since September, so just a few weeks after, and doing stretching since October, 2 months after my accident, but part-time. So I'm still in therapy. I have therapy 3 times this week. any of these trips I've gone out west, I've gone early, paid the money to do therapy for things that aren't offered around here, and they've been extremely helpful. So I'm investing more time and money to go get trained in some of those things, because one thing I was reminded of this weekend working with all these really exceptional people literally from all over the world, like Australia, South Africa, Canada, Dublin, Germany, the US, all over, that the more you know, the less you know. And we all just want to be able to help each other to do stuff for themselves, like for them that they can't do themselves. And so I just want to help my clients, right? But I don't think I realized how much the stuff I learned really I needed. And I don't think that I realized everyone's like, 18 months ago you got hurt, or 8 years ago you got hurt. I'm like, no, 8 months ago. And I guess I know that I'm very lucky. I'm glad to be alive and still be able to have learned in almost like a sixth sense, having lost my hearing. There's still a lot of challenges that come with that. I have the hearing aids. Right now they're actually not working, and they're in your ear. They're very annoying. I'm in the process of looking at getting a cochlear implant, and the cochlear implant is implanted into the skull. And one of the risks of it is facial paralysis. And so when I broke my skull, I actually broke the cochlea, which is where the receiver gets inserted to be able to have sound recognition and sound localization with the implant. And so they were worried about doing the surgery and maybe wait a year or two, because one of the risks of surgery is facial paralysis. However, mine is scarring over because I broke the cochlea. And so there's a time sensitivity. So I'm scheduled for surgery in May. I still am not sure if it's gonna happen, but I have an appointment on Tuesday with my doctor, and I have a second opinion scheduled. I have to get an updated hearing test, which I don't understand because I know I can't hear anything. But the second opinion that I have, in having this journey, I've been asked to talk to other people who are going through hearing loss. Talked to a woman this week who lost her high frequency hearing because of viral conjunctivitis, pink eye, and an ear infection, and she no longer can hear, and she's having trouble seeing and it's crazy. And the doctor she found is my second opinion, which I think is kind of a God thing. So there's all these different things, that people go through, and there's so many different ways. So that if I can give any takeaway, it's to not just let it be. Like, don't just sit on it and go figure out what are things you could do to help it, because there's so many more things out there. I learned about all these other, I have a list of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 other certifications or trainings that I want to research to learn more. And it's not to know all the, it's just like there's so much out there that we just don't know. And why I like fascial stretch therapy, I got into it because I tore my labrum in my hip. I had surgery. I had broken my sacrum, falling on a pool chair bench with my dog. And fascial stretch therapy is the one thing that gave me space, like in my hip joint. And so everyone talks about like Stretch Labs and all these franchises, which a lot of people can get hurt at if you're working with someone who doesn't know what they're doing and doesn't know the tissue. But there's a lot of things that people are stretching only where they have pain and not looking at what it's connected to. And that's the biggest aha I think I got this week, is that how to look at the body in a different way. And I think I already understood it, but it's just, being able to do that. So I wanted to just come in because I know people are watching me travel a little bit, and I'm going to be staying put for a little, so I figure out what's the best route for me with a cochlear implant. I think long-term quality of life, a cochlear implant would be better for me, even at the risk of maybe potentially having facial paralysis, worsening my progress, permanently damaging my progress. I deep down don't think that that's going to be an issue, but I know that there's risks with this surgery. Unless a doctor tells me otherwise, I'm going to request more imaging and all of that. But I think a cochlear implant long-term safety, if I ever lost my hearing on this side, I would be 100% deaf. So, yeah. So moving forward, I am still doing fascial stretch therapy, and really, people have had the things that just never go away and keep coming back. Like, that's what I really enjoy doing, and teaching people how to do stretches on their own to help them, so they don't have to come to me all the time, so we can just help improve some of the things that keep them from doing things that they love to do. I learned so much, realizing I broke all these ribs on my side and to my back and the clavicle, how I couldn't actually take a full breath without coughing. Even like through the first rib, and not being able to lift my head without having all this tension in my neck, and all of that is gone after this week, which has been really cool. So if you're watching this and you're with me in Arizona, thank you if you had your hands on me for helping to help me feel better, because I feel awesome. Usually when I come home from these trainings, I'm exhausted. If you are one of my clients currently, get ready, because I have a plan for you already. I went through everything to see what we're going to do in your next session. If you've been following the journey as far as the facial paralysis, it's come such a long way, and it's been interesting. Like, before, I had my eye like super open and it wouldn't close at all. Now it's just closing all the time, so I feel like I'm winking at people, but it is what it is. And hopefully, I learned there's some training you do to separate or help retrain the nerves jobs, so hopefully can learn some of that. If there's something that I could do that could help me, please don't ever hesitate to reach out. If you are going through something silently, and you aren't doing anything about it, I just hope by watching what I'm doing, that you'll do something to be better, or to try to get better. And if there's anything I could do to help you navigate through that, I'm happy to chat with you. Just shoot me a message. So thanks again for all of you guys who just always continue to support me and always check in. Like, I really appreciate it. I know that my life has been super busy, and part of that is just trying to find space and being able to help my people, but also to help myself, and still trying to learn how to navigate that. And there's a chance, if I do have this surgery in May, it's scheduled for May 6th currently, I'm not gonna be able to work for a little bit again. So I'll have to figure that out. But it's a short term for a long term benefit, hopefully. So I will keep you guys posted on that, and if I do have that surgery, I'll let you know what it's going to entail, and you'll see all the stuff along the way. But feel free, if you need anything from me, just let me know, and I will keep you updated. But we'll see you soon. Have a good night.